Now we still have to add some validation to our get bug by ID and delete bug by ID. If you remember, we passed the ID as a param, so we need to import the param from Express Validator. So here, const equals to require Express Validator. We're gonna import the param like this. And we just add our param here. So we just add here an middleware, and we just add param of ID, and we make it dot is Mongo ID, and with message we add some message, for example invalid book ID, like this. We just add the param and with a message invalid book ID. Here is for get by ID. You can also make the same and delete like this, but in this case you are duplicating code, and duplicating code in programming is a very bad practice. So it's better to create only one here for get by ID, delete by ID, and also put request. So since we've created our bug validator, so let's make our code here inside this file. So let's copy this line here and go to our bug validator, and let's create a new validation here. I'm gonna name it ID validation, and it's gonna be the code that I have just copied. Param of ID is Mongo ID with this message, and don't forget to export it. So here, let's export it. Now you can edit your get by ID here, ID validation, and also here without duplicating code, but don't forget to import it from the top here. From bug validator, just import it, ID validation, like this. And also let's go to our put request and add it here, ID validation, before the update bug validation, and press save. And let's go to our bug validator, and no need to this line also. We can remove it from update bug validation because we are now using this. Now let's format our document and let's try our routes. So here, let's try to update this bug. Great, it's updated successfully. Let's try to remove the ID or make wrong ID. Now look, invalid bug ID. Now let's try to delete a bug. So let's open delete request and let's get an ID. Now when we press send, bug deleted successfully. But if you have a wrong ID, now we got this error. Cast to object failed for value. Why we don't get our message? I know why. Because we add our validation ID, but we didn't add yet our function, handle validation errors. So we need also to add this function after the validation ID. So here, let's add it here in delete and also in update by ID. So don't forget to add also the handle validation errors beside your validation middleware. Okay, now let's press save and let's now try to test it. Now when you press send, look, we got here the error invalid bug ID. Now let's try to go and test get by ID. Let's try send. Look, we got also the message. So the three routes are using this function and this ID validation without duplicating code. So duplicating code in programming is very bad practice, and it's better to not duplicate the code. One of the benefits of not duplicating the code is when you make a change in your code, it will be applied to other codes. For example, if I change this message, let's make it, for example, bug ID must be a valid MongoDB ObjectID, like this. Now you can see this message here in the get and in update and also in delete. So you make the change in just one line in one place, and this change got applied in all places.